So what is diversity? Is it this? Or is it this? According to the establishment, this is not diverse, but this, very diverse. Not diverse, very diverse. No diversity here, so diverse. We get it. The meaning of diversity as used by the establishment is everyone but white people. Well, unless they're sexual deviants. So it's everyone but straight, white people. Diversity is being rewritten to mean the inclusion of individuals representing more than one national origin, color, religion, socioeconomic group, sexual orientation. Did you get that? This definition says it's non-whites, Muslims, Jews, and anyone not Christian, poor people meaning the third world, and sexual deviants. According to them, if you don't include these groups, you will never qualify as diverse. So if you're a straight white person living in a homogenous, nationalist, Christian white country, you won't ever get a gold star for diversity. This new definition of diversity was inspired by Marxist critical theory, which arose from the Frankfurt School in the 30s. They were hostile communists who fled to America and pushed words like racism, xenophobia, anti-Semite to sow division. They pointed their fingers at others while they agreed with violent communist revolutions that killed more than any other ideology on the planet. You know what diversity doesn't include for a Marxist? Diversity of political opinions. Diversity can only mean thinking like a leftist. They're not welcoming a wide range of political viewpoints. They're not saying it doesn't matter if you're a rightist because we accept you. No, they shout Nazi, racist, and demand censorship. They want to ruin your life and destroy you because of your differing political views. They don't want diversity of thought. They want leftist rule where dissenting opinions are shut down by force. Diversity is used as a weapon against nationalists, and leftists use minority groups to further their agenda, to be the wedge that breaks apart the cohesion of the majority. We were told we must overcome our racist nature and embrace open borders for a more utopian world where we accept everyone, holding hands as one. We're told it's our duty as white people, that we alone hold the key to usher in world peace. It's up to us to make our countries a home for everyone, where all races, religions, and ideologies live together in our country because only white people are racist. Well, if you want to talk about peace, the most peaceful countries in the world happen to be white. When someone says, you white people aren't diverse and can only become diverse by importing the third world into your countries, this is psychological warfare, an action intended to undermine our morale and unity as a people. An enemy can use pretty words while having dirty motives. Remember, communists talked about the greater good while they mass murdered millions of Russians who disagreed and stood in the way of their utopia. Migrant invaders in Europe learned very fast to shout racism and diversity because it gets them stuff. They don't care about sharing and equality. They want to be the king on the top.
Money! Money! Money!
Europeans are the most compassionate and giving of any people. Third world nations receive billions in aid from us, and when they need medicine or education, who do they call? Us. But our goodwill is also easy to take advantage of. We get hustled. It's sad, but a white man can go to the moon, but just don't call him racist or he'll have a breakdown. That's how deep anti-white propaganda and lies has rotted our morale and confidence as a people. We don't even take our own side because it's practically the Holocaust if we do. In the beginning, leftists who pushed the dream of diversity were naive idealists, but not anymore. Despite terrorist attacks, increasing violence, rape, and constant conflict in our multicultural societies, we continue to be propagandized at every level that diversity is our strength. We're expected to deny reality. The truth is in our face, and the whites who live in diverse areas have to take the brunt of it. Rich white liberals who are activists for diversity live in their ivory towers surrounded by other rich white people, chauffeured from white place to white place, untouched by all diversity. Harvard political scientist and leftist Robert Putnam set out to do a study on how awesome diversity is. What did he really learn? When you shove a bunch of different people together, diversity, it creates less social cohesion, distrust, conflict, and it hurts overall civic life. People stop trusting each other, and they stop being nice and happy. Daily life becomes a battle. When you mix thousands of people together from different cultures and languages, religions, social classes, and political views, they won't get along. What a shocking revelation. Diversity isn't like the TV shows where one of each race and creed goes shopping and lunches together, talking about how awesome liberalism is. Before the word diversity, white Americans were once whole as a united group in a country that was nearly entirely white. Even blacks did better during segregation versus today. It is diversity that has divided white people. We are now divergent. If there's a white neighborhood, company, government, or movie, we hear how it needs diversity. In other words, it needs non-whites. It is all about race, all about replacing white people wherever they are. We can't have anything that is all our own without hearing non-whites complain about it. They want us to facilitate them in everything we create, and they shout slavery, colonialism, Jim Crow, white supremacy to get a leg up because they couldn't do it on their own.
White people, give your fucking money, your fucking house, your fucking property. We need it fucking off. You need to reparate.
It's a strategy to win, and they didn't even come up with it on their own. Non-white minority groups have learned they can get ahead simply by crying diversity, even when they're not qualified for the position. It's a shakedown. Outgroups have learned they can align together, cry minority, and chisel their way into our spaces, weakening our cohesion as a group. It's a power grab. All the while, they pretend to care about the goodwill of all mankind through pretty words like equality and tolerance, diversity, but their actions say the opposite. They want their group to hold power and influence. They also want revenge and think white people owe them, but we don't. They don't care about the truth. They want to get ahead and they want to win as a group. It's not white people going to black or Asian areas demanding they include white people in every facet of their existence. They have things that are exclusively theirs, and they also have countries where they are the majority. They have no obligation to include anyone else, and neither do we. We whites should be a majority in our country. We made every aspect of it. There's nothing wrong with us being dominant in our own country. But even though we are still a majority, we're told it's supremacy when we occupy the majority of society. As white societies become increasingly diverse, there's no end in sight. And in cities where non-whites are the majority, they're calling for an end to white privilege, even though the job market openly discriminates against whites. And we hear how campuses must end racism, even when they are fully dictated by diversity politics. When will diversity finally be achieved? At what point will commies and non-whites be satisfied? I'll tell you, when Europeans no longer have an identity, culture, or country all their own. When white people no longer exist.